Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. Today I've got for you a really good little swim bait hack that can help generate a few extra fish. In fact, I think it takes your basic swim baits, regardless of which one you're throwing. Say if you grab a boot tail like this guy right here, I'm pulling it out of the bag for you. This is the 4.8-inch size Kitech Fat Impact Swim. And you want to add a little bit something different to this, something to make it look like the fish is actually alive and moving in the water. Well, I've got the tip for you today. I think it is something that you can apply. It's a good winter project if you're looking for something to do, and it'll come in handy, especially in those lakes where the fish see a ton of the boot tail swim baits. I've had good success with this on spotted bass and smallmouth, caught a bunch of largemouth on it as well. And it's something I've done for a long time. I actually mentioned this on the channel a while ago as part of another video, but I figured I would do it again just to show you specifically how I go about doing it. I didn't really show you how I did it. I just showed you one as an example. But generally speaking, anything you can do to increase the lifelike movement or action in your baits will help you get more bites. There's definitely the idea of uh, trying to fool the fish into biting your bait based on matching the hatch. Well, as much as the actual look and profile really helps with that, I actually think it's the minor little details that are what get the fish to trigger into biting because it is something that relates to what that fish thinks of when it's looking at that prey. It's not necessarily just the size, forage, or color. It's actually movement more than anything, in my opinion, that triggers the fish into biting. So before I share this tip with you, though, I do want to remind you that I do lake breakdowns with fishthemoment.com. I've done lakes all over the country where I break out a ton of different types of techniques and scenarios, provide you with 40 specific waypoints to that lake that meet these technique criterias, and they should help you catch more fish. They're also based on certain times of the season. So right now, if you're looking for a fall or winter one, you can get that. If you want to buy one for the summer when you're going to a lake on vacation, you can do that as well. I'll put the link for that to Fish the Moments page so you can check out the lake breakdowns that I've done. I also have a members only page with additional content, a monthly live stream. You can have direct access to me. If you're looking to do that and support the channel, you can go to my YouTube homepage and click the join button, find out everything you need to find out. And maybe it's videos like this that you're looking for that we do in the members only page. All right, so let's talk a little bit about, let's say, a boot tail swim bait. So we know right now how this is kind of one of the big crazes in the fishing industry, right? You've got your baits with lots of tentacles. This is the Q Bomb by G Crack. Just catches a lot of fish. We don't know exactly what the fish are relating this to, but we do know that guys are having a lot of success fishing this. Well, this is similar to what I've been doing with swim baits for a while, where I take a swim bait and I apply some form of additional attractor to it. So what I really like are like Flashaboo accents, or this is the Flashaboo fiber pearl accents. I got I got these in all different colors. Like, I'm just grabbing a wad of them. You can see I've been doing this for years. I had this stuff. I really like Flashaboo material, and I added into everything from jig skirts to, like in this case, the swim baits. If you buy the core tackle swim jigs, they've all got some Flashaboo in it because I think it's a huge little key that gets fish to bite. So what I've been doing with these guys is similar, and I don't know why this never really dawned on me sooner to do this because these have been out for like a year now. There's some other baits, the Emu Kamushi, that's similar. But I've actually been doing it similar with swim baits. As you can see, I'll add some Flashaboo material to my swim baits. I put it into the head, and then when you're retrieving it, that Flashaboo folds over and kind of undulates along the swim bait itself. It's probably a little bit hard to see on camera, but hopefully you can see all of those. So I want to just show you how easy it is and how I do it. So in this case, I just have a sewing needle, and you want a sewing needle that has a little bit larger of an eye on the end, just so you can fit the material through it easier. And then what I like to do is I'll just take the needle and I'll thread it through somewhere around the head, just so it's like that. And then I'll grab a piece of Flashaboo and just thread that right through the eye of the needle, and this is actually the hard part, especially if you're getting older. So I'll thread it through and I'll do it so it's about even. I'm just pulling that one side through. It's about even. So I've got it coming out, and then I'll just pull the needle through so that it's about halfway. So I have even material on both sides. I'll take my scissors and I'll just cut the needle off. If I can see it, cut the needle off. And then that just gave me 4 strands. I've got 2 on each side from that. So I'll go ahead and I'll add as much material as I want. The biggest key with this is don't add material that's so long that when it folds over, it'll interfere with your boot tail. You do not want it to catch the boot tail, because if you do that, it'll actually get stuck to the boot tail and it can prevent the tail from swinging back and forth. But I do like to have the material so that it hangs down, a good distance down the body of the fish. And this one is about done. I might add a tad bit more, one more piece, but the reality is I don't want it to be a skirt. I don't want it to be a jig trailer. And I don't necessarily like using the same material, the rubber material or silicone material you'd see in a jig skirt. I actually like the tinsel that much more, the Flashaboo material, because it just falls over and it just gives it a little bit of flash. It doesn't give it really a lot of bulk. It just gives it that flash appearance. Like if you see a bait fish swimming and the sun hits it, you don't see like it doesn't necessarily always flash. You'll see like a certain scale flash here and there. And that's what the material does. Generally speaking, I like to use either the pearl colors that are like that for your clear water applications, or I like to use a gold if I've got a little bit of tannic color to the water. I've got a little bit of color to it, but you can really mess around. I showed you a bunch of different colors. I've had good success with purple. I've had good success with blue. Uh, I've done some pink before, and I've had good success with pink and chartreuse, like these guys right here. Uh, Play around with it. I'll put links for this. I don't know that Tackle Warehouse sells that, but I'll find a link somewhere to put you to like a fly tying shop. They'll have everything you need. But don't forget about the little details. A lot of times I really do feel like it's the little things like that that'll trigger a fish. We know through our own experience, or whether you're using forward facing sonar, how often now fish will track your bait. The key is getting that fish to snap and actually eat your bait. Generally speaking, what we know happens is either the fish comes like an animal and eats your bait pretty much no matter what. I consider that an actively feeding fish, and you could throw a hot dog out there, and a lot of times those fish will eat it. It's the ones that are more curious and are just tracking your bait, trying to figure out whether they should eat it or not. Those are the ones that the little details can get those fish to trigger. Those are the ones where maybe it's a snappier rod, maybe it's an erratic retrieve, maybe it's a certain color or a certain profile, or adding just a little bit of something to it, just like this, that will get those fish to eat. So don't overlook some of those little details, because they can make a big difference. For me, it's the middle of winter, so I'll sit down and do up 30 of these while I've got a football game on in the background or something, and then I've got them ready to go for the rest of the year. Really simple little thing to do. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Give it a try, guys. I'm telling you, this has been successful for me for a long time now. Um, it's just a little something extra. Don't overdo it though. Don't make them too long, and don't put so much in it where it actually changes the movement of the bait. You're just looking for a little bit of undulation. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Stay tuned. We'll have a new video coming out for you tomorrow.